Hey guys, what's up? Today, as you know, we need some heat in Charlie, so we're going to be installing a diesel heater. And I've never done this before, so it's going to be an experience. I bought this one, the VEVOR Tough Tools half price. And we got to make some modifications to it before we get started. We need some extra tools, so let's get going. Okay, so there's two diesel heaters that are pretty common on the market on Amazon. There's this one, I'm gonna call it the tower style, and then there's the other one, I'm gonna call it the can style, because this is like that can that where it heats the diesel and the combustion happens. The can one seems to be good if you're gonna be installing it in some cabinetry and trying to hide it and plumb it all in. Charlie doesn't really have any voids in the cabinetry. It's all used space. There's no dead zones. So I wanted the tower one because it's going to be visible the whole time. And inside this tower is everything this diesel heater needs to work. So I don't have to mount the tank somewhere. I'm not going to be tapping into a fuel tank somewhere on the truck. And I also got with it this through hull fitting you see in the marine world, and all the van lifers are using it because it's double walled. The inside wall will get really hot from the exhaust system, and then the outside wall should stay significantly cooler. The only heat bridge is on the end. And because I have to go through my floor, that's the other thing about these heaters that I didn't realize until I started researching them, is all the pipes are on the bottom. So even the can heaters, the pipes are on the bottom. And let me open this up to show you guys. Inside, this really is just the can heater. There's the can. And instead of that tall skinny fuel tank, they give you this one. And the hoses and everything's exactly the same as it would be on the can heater, except it's all in a nice box. Nothing's bolted down or anything because it's cheap, but all the pipes come out the bottom. We have to drill holes in the floor, or we have to mount it up on something and come up with some concoction where we make 90-degree turns, which I'm not going to do. So I've already put little fuzzy feet on this because it's going to be sitting on the tile. And I sort of have a plan in my head, but before we get started, there's a few modifications we need to make to this diesel heater. One of the things I heard from everybody was how this fuel pump makes a ticking noise constantly. Some people say that's good, that's how you know it's working. Some people are like, the ticking is maddening. And since this is going to be in my living quarters, I wanted to see if we can get around that. So when I ordered the heater, I also ordered the extra fuel pump. And this is the quiet one I found on Amazon. And all the reviews said this is the quiet one, and it's the same one that's in there. So the first thing we're going to do is swap this, and then the next thing we're going to do is strictly cosmetic. But let's get this out of the way. Okay, that was super easy. We got the old pump out. We're gonna keep this as a backup in case, or when, the new pump fails. We'll have this one sitting around. Screwdriver and some needle nose pliers is all you need to get that job done. And next, we've got to make some changes to this guy, and we need some hole saws. We need a hole saw that's this big to get through the floor for this guy, and a little bit extra because we're going to use some of the heat shielding on it. And then we need another one that's this big, and because we're going through tile, I Googled, and you're supposed to use carbide tipped bits to get through the tile. And that's probably my biggest fear in this job, is I have to drill holes in my nice tile 2 times. 2 holes that are relatively close together, hoping that the tile doesn't disintegrate when I touch it with a drill bit. So that's going to be a challenge. We got to go to the hardware store and get 2 hole saws and a couple other things. So let's take a little trip. Okay, so Canadian Tire, we got 1 diamond dusted hole saw. Anyway, for tile, right? You can't just use any hole saw on tile. That'll do the air hose that comes out of the bottom of the heater, but we still need one to do the exhaust, and we need 1 3/4 inch, so we're gonna go to Home Depot. Okay guys, we're at Home Depot and we got a tile hole saw, but it's 2 inch because There's no 1 3/4 inch, the one we need, but we can go through the tile at 2 inch and then use one of my normal hole saws to go through the subfloor and then the floor with just a normal hole saw at 1 3/4 inch, so that should be fine. It is what it is. It's a $50 hole saw, but you know, whatever. Let's go get some work done. Okay guys, we got the cover out here, and I know that these do come in white. I just couldn't find one in white. These have been out of stock actually for the last couple of weeks, and the red one came back in stock. It said 6 left, so I bought it. But we're gonna scuff it up real good and then hit it with some engine paint in white, because I want it to be white. Okay guys, we're out here in Charlie. He's all just set up for winter. It's 62 degrees in here right now because I got the space heaters plugged into the house. Just to make sure the water pipes don't freeze really. What we got to do now is figure out, if we remove that and put the diesel heater there, what is under the floor right there. So that'll be the trick. We've got to do some measuring and some laying outside on the ground in the wet driveway. And I think Charlie's actually parked on the grass a little, so I'll be laying in the mud. But I have just the winter coat for that, the one I ruined last time when I had to lay under Charlie. So let's do some measuring and see what's under that tile. That's really important. 67 inches is there, which is the tank, right at the edge of the tank basically. So it would be very close if we were to drill down at 67 inches. Very close to hitting the tank. But after the tank, there's a beam. Oh, the wood beams that hold the tank on, but then it's just floor after that. Or we could go to the other side, but that's where the computer tower is. So we're gonna have to either get very exact with our measurements or relocate the heater, which is not fun. Okay guys, after a bunch of trips to Home Depot, we've got hole saws. Should have everything we need. I've marked the floor. I put tape down to help protect the tile, and I marked where the 2 holes need to be, and that should clear the water tank. The water tank comes to this tile, so those 2 holes should be good. Let's do some drilling and hope we don't scratch or break any tiles. This is terrifying. I'm gonna use water too. Okay guys, we have the holes drilled, and we're gonna put some heat wrap on this thing. This is gonna go up through the floor, but the outer wall could still get hot and it's gonna be up against wood. So what I'm gonna do is I fold it over the end of the wrap. I'm gonna put it on here, and then when we bolt it in, this should kind of make a gasket between the bottom of the truck and the metal flange. And then we've got screw holes here, and it's gonna stick up into the truck. So we just need to cut a bit of this. This is like header wrap, like what you use on a motorcycle. So it should keep this thing pretty safe as it passes through the floor of the truck. And then that's gonna stick up into the truck and go up, and the space heater is gonna be about here. I'm gonna need to use a little bit of the exhaust pipe to get the connection, which is good because this is the same size as the space heater. But anyway, a little bit of the exhaust pipe with the T-clamps that they give you in this bag, or hose clamps, or whatever they gave us, and we should be good. So I'm gonna go screw this into the bottom of the truck like this with this thing on it. So yeah, it's raining outside now too. Hey guys, we're back on day 2 of the heater install process, and the reason it's day 2 is because I thought you could just cut the exhaust and use little pieces of it, mainly to get from the bottom of the heater to the thing on the floor. But when they do this crush pattern so that it's flexible, they actually make it smaller. So this won't fit over the heater or over the thing on the floor. Only the finished straight ends will fit over those things. So I ordered a couple more of these They don't actually sell like the 3-inch piece that I need. I need this just all in straight. So we're just gonna have to figure out a way to make this work. But Amazon's not here yet with the couple more of these that I ordered. So what we're gonna do right now while we wait for Amazon is get on some wiring. We've got some 16 gauge and some eyelets and things like that. So we're gonna get on the wiring. We gotta get 12 volt over to the heater from the battery bay. So let me show you what we gotta do. It's not hard. The heater is gonna be here. I put a rag in the holes. There's the heater. The batteries and all the electronics are here. I'm actually gonna take these covers right off because we're gonna need to be working in this electrical cabinet. So the fuse box is down there. And we need to get power from that fuse box over to the heater. Now there's already a wire run and a chase under the desk. So I'm just gonna come out of this cabinet, up under the desk and across over to the heater. Under the desk has wire clips and everything, so it's nice and tidy. All we gotta do is run 16 gauge from there to there. I don't think the heater draws very much. I'm probably gonna put like a 10 amp fuse in it. There's nothing in the instruction manual that I could find that said which fuse, and I think it already has a fuse in it. I think we should double check while we're here. It does right there. So let's see what that one is and we'll just match it. There we go. And it looks like a 20. Oh, it is a 20. Okay, so we'll match it with a 20 over in the fuse box of the truck. Not that I don't trust their fuse, but I don't want a big wiring run going, you know, the 6 feet or 7 feet it's gonna take that's unfused. I don't want that straight to the battery. Should have a fuse within a foot of the battery, or I think ABYC code is within 18 inches of the battery. That's in the boating world. And since this is a lot like a boat, because it moves around and wires vibrate and chafe, we're gonna follow ABYC code. So within 18 inches of the battery, we'll put a 20. We'll come over to this thing, it's got its own 20. So if this thing goes down, we'll have 2 fuses to check to figure out why the power left. But that's so rare that that would happen. So anyway, let's get cracking on the wiring. Sorry guys, try to keep it clean as I go so it doesn't end up being a total catastrophe in here. That looks fantastic. I like the white. I'm definitely glad it's not red. For sure, looks great. I'll have to remove these pad eyes that held the old heater. And I have to run screws through this part of the chassis, but on the other side, into the wall. So I think I can get at that with a long Robbie bit and get screws. Robbie bit is for square-headed screws that we have in Canada. They're much better than Torx screws that you use in the States for everything. We have Robertson screws that we use for everything, and they don't strip as much, and it's easier to find a bit for them. Anyway, they're not in the US because of patent issues, but everywhere else in the world has them. Okay guys, we're done installing it. I put diesel in it. I found the remote that it came with, which is like this dinky little IR cheapy thing, which there was no pull thing for the battery, so the battery's been in it and hooked up since they made it. So I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't work, but let's see what happens. Hold the power button, let's see. Oh, I heard a click. Whoa, cold air. Oh, less cold air. I think it should have to prime the pump. You can actually see the diesel's full. I did the wiring, and once this thing starts running, I'll take you guys outside and show you what the underside of the truck looks like. Yeah, this remote doesn't do, oh, maybe it does. Yeah, it does. It's doing the up and down thing. No, it's not anymore. Oh, maybe it is. Still cold air, so it's just the fan running. I guess the pump would be priming right now, but we'll see. Whoa! Noises! So much for the new pump being the quiet pump. It's definitely making noises. Okay guys, thoughts on the diesel heater? Pretty straightforward, very cheaply built, but pretty straightforward, easy to get parts for, and apparently very efficient. It kind of sucks that the pipes come out the bottom of the unit, meaning if you mount it on the floor like I did to make it tidy like that, you have to kind of drill holes directly in the floor. It's a very tight space to try to get a 90 in there. There is a duct in the house for the front to point it this way, or whichever way you want, really. I may put it on, I may not. I think that's probably going to be fine the way it is. We'll see. I have the parts if I want to make changes later. I still have to screw it to the wall. Glad I painted it white. I think the real test will be taking it out in the wild and actually going and sleeping in here. I don't think I would want it running all night while I slept. I just don't trust it. I don't know. I have a carbon monoxide detector, so but I would probably run it like full blast for about half an hour and get it up to like 80 in here, and then I'd go to sleep. And then when you wake up in the morning, it's cold, so you turn it back on. That's what I did before when I used the propane heater, and that's fine because you're in bed under the blankets. It's kind of a pain to have to wake up cold, but whatever. I think it's a cool product. I think it's pretty good for the $150 or $180 or whatever it was. Probably spent $100 on hole saws to be able to install it through tile, but that's a me problem. I think it's a great addition to Charlie, and it means no more having to plug Charlie in for electric space heater, so pretty cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up if you learned anything, and hit subscribe if you want to stay tuned for more adventures. Thanks.